Hey there, football fans, and welcome back to your go-to spot for all things New York Giants. I'm your host, diving deep into the heart of the NFL with that big blue passion we all know and love. Picture this. It's a crisp fall afternoon at MetLife Stadium. The crowds roar like a thunderstorm over the Meadowlands, and suddenly, the future flashes before our eyes. What if I told you that amid a rocky start to the 2025-26 season, the Giants are flipping the script in a way that could reignite the fire in this storied franchise? Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about the bold move to bench veteran Russell Wilson and hand the reins to rookie sensation Jackson Dart. Buckle up, because this isn't just a quarterback switch. It's a potential turning point that has analysts buzzing and fans dreaming big. Let's break it all down, step by step, like we're calling the play from the booth. First off, let's set the scene with the main headline. That's got everyone talking. The New York Giants, after a brutal 3-week stretch that's left them scratching their heads and fans groaning into their jerseys, have decided to make a seismic shift at the quarterback position. Head coach Brian Daboll, known for his no-nonsense approach and that fiery sideline presence, pulled the trigger earlier than anyone expected. Out goes Russell Wilson, the future Hall of Famer who was supposed to bring stability but instead delivered more questions than answers. And in steps Jackson Dart, the fresh-faced 22-year-old out of Ole Miss, drafted 25th overall in the 2025 NFL Draft. This isn't some knee-jerk reaction. It's a calculated gamble on youth athleticism and that elusive spark called hope. And get this, NFL analyst and 3-time Super Bowl champ Mark Schlereth is all in on it. On the Rich Eisen show this summer, Schlereth didn't mince words. I'm looking at the future, and the future is not Russell Wilson. And the future is Jackson Dart. So I don't blame the Giants. Ouch, right? But hey, in the cutthroat world of the NFL, honesty like that is what keeps us glued to our screens. Now, let's rewind a bit and talk about why this change feels so necessary. The Giants kicked off the season with whispers of optimism. Remember those preseason vibes where everyone thought Big Blue could surprise the NFC East? Well, that optimism fizzled faster than a deflated football after a 22-9 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 3. Wilson, bless his heart, had moments of that classic Russ magic, but late in the fourth quarter, all unraveled. We're talking a frustrating sequence near the goal line, an intentional grounding penalty that backed them up, followed by an inexplicable throwaway on 4th down. It was the kind of drive that makes you yell at your TV. What are we doing here? Schlereth called out bluntly, criticizing the leadership and play calling that left the offense stagnant. And folks, this isn't new for the Giants. Their red zone woes have been a thorn in the side for years, predating even Wilson's short stint. Last season, they converted just 48% of red zone trips into touchdowns, one of the lowest in the league. And this year, it's hovering around 40%. Compare that to elite teams like the Chiefs, who are at 65%. And you see the gap. Dart, with his blend of passing accuracy, mobility, and quick decision-making, could be the antidote. He's got that dual-threat vibe, reminiscent of a young Lamar Jackson, but with a cannon arm honed in the SEC. Speaking of Dart, let's shine the spotlight on this kid because he's the real story here. Jackson Dart, born in Kaysville, Utah back in 2003, burst onto the college scene at USC before transferring to Ole Miss, where he lit up the Rebels' offense. In his senior year, he threw for over 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, and just 5 picks, while rushing for another 500 yards. That's the kind of stat line that screams franchise quarterback. The Giants snagged him at number 25, a steal in a draft loaded with defensive talent. And he's been charming the fan base since minicamp. Fans at training camp were chanting his name, posting memes of him as the next Eli Manning. You know, that stoic gunslinger who led us to 2 Super Bowl upsets against Tom Brady's Patriots. Dart's got that same unflappable cool, but with wheels that Eli could only dream of. At 6 feet 2 inches, 220 pounds, he's built like a tank with the agility of a sports car. Analysts are raving about his instincts. The way he reads defenses pre-snap, extends plays with his legs, and delivers dimes under pressure. But it's not just the physical tools. It's the intangibles. Dart's leadership shines through in interviews. He's humble, hungry, and ready to embrace the New York spotlight. Imagine him scrambling out of the pocket, dodging sacks from those fierce NFC East defenses, and firing a laser to Wan'Dale Robinson for a first down. That's the energy this offense needs. But hold on, let's not sugarcoat it. This switch comes with its fair share of risks. The Giants' schedule is a gauntlet. Folks, we're talking matchups against powerhouse teams like the Chargers in Week 4, then the Saints in Week 5, and don't even get me started on the divisional slugfest with the Eagles and Cowboys later on. Schlereth nailed it when he said, "Their schedule is brutal. It's absolutely brutal." Starting Dart now means throwing him into the fire against defenses that feast on rookies. Remember Dak Prescott's rookie year with Dallas? He had a stellar line protecting him. Dart stepping behind an offensive line that's been leaky at best, allowing 12 sacks in 3 games already. That's more than the league average, and it could lead to growing pains. Plus, there's the ghost of quarterbacks past haunting the Meadowlands. Since Eli Manning retired after the 2019 season, capping off a career with 56,537 passing yards, 366 touchdowns, and those 2 rings, the Giants have cycled through Daniel Jones, who showed flashes but battled injuries, and now Wilson, whose veteran savvy couldn't overcome the systemic issues. Jones, by the way, is still on the roster as a backup, providing mentorship, but his era feels like ancient history now. Let's dive deeper into the analysis, because this is where it gets juicy. Tactically, Dable's offense thrives on rhythm and creativity. Think play-action passes, RPOs, run-pass options for casual fans out there, and getting the ball to playmakers in space. Wilson, at 36, lost some of that zip on his throws, especially in the red zone where precision is key. Dart, on the other hand, excels in those tight windows. His college tape shows him threading needles for touchdowns, and his mobility adds a layer. Defenses have to account for him as a runner, opening up lanes to the ground game. Speaking of which, let's talk about the backfield. Saquon Barkley might have bolted to the Eagles in free agency a couple years back. Yeah, that still stings, doesn't it? But Devin Singletary has stepped up, rushing for 250 yards so far this season. Pair him with Dart scrambling, and suddenly the Giants could average over 120 rushing yards per game, up from last year's 105. On defense, the Giants remain a force, led by Dexter Lawrence up front, who's already notched 3 sacks this year, and a secondary that's opportunistic with guys like Deonte Banks. If the offense can just hold its own, this team could sneak into wild card contention. Historically, the Giants are no strangers to quarterback controversies and comebacks. Founded in 1925 as one of the NFL's charter teams, they've called New York home through thick and thin, from the Polo Grounds to Yankee Stadium to the current MetLife shared with the Jets. Their rivalry with the Philadelphia Eagles dates back decades. Think of those epic battles in the 80s with Lawrence Taylor terrorizing Randall Cunningham. And don't forget the Dallas Cowboys feud. It's like oil and water, with games that always feel like playoff intensity. Iconic moments? Where do I start? Super Bowl 42 in 2008. David Tyree's helmet catch, Eli's escape, and the upset over the undefeated Pats. Then Super Bowl 46 in 2012, another Manning masterclass. Those victories cemented the Giants as Giant Slayers. Fast forward to today, and with Dart, we're hoping for a new chapter. Compare this to the 1986 season when Phil Simms led them to their first ring, a young QB stepping up amid adversity. Stats-wise, the Giants' all-time passing leader is Eli with those gaudy numbers, but Dart could climb the ranks if he sticks. Fun fact, the Giants have won 4 Super Bowls, tying with the Packers and right behind the Pats and Steelers. And from a die-hard fan at a tailgate, finally, Wilson's throws were killing us. Dart's our hope, Big Blue forever. Even experts are weighing in. Fictional analyst Sarah Jenkins from ESPN says, this move screams long-term vision. Dart's arm talent rivals rookies like Caleb Williams from last year, if he gels with the receivers. Think Malik Neighbors stretching the field. The Giants could flip their 1-2 record into something special. Looking ahead, what does this mean for the season? The implications are huge. With Dart starting, the Giants aim to evaluate him over the remaining 14 games. A strong finish could lock him in as QB1 for 2026, potentially saving draft capital instead of chasing another signal caller. Playoff odds? Slim right now at around 15% per betting sites, but wins against the Chargers and Saints could bump that to 30%. The NFC East is wide open. Eagles are dealing with injuries, Cowboys with contract drama. So why not us? Predictions. Dart throws for 3,000 yards as a rookie, with 20 TDs and some highlight reel scrambles. But challenges loom. That brutal schedule includes road trips to Lambeau and Arrowhead. Leadership from Dable will be key. He's turned around offenses before in Buffalo. And injuries? Keep an eye on the O-line. Any more hits could derail things. But wait, there's more to chew on. Let's tie this into broader NFL trends. In today's league, mobile QBs rule. Think Patrick Mahomes dodging rushers or Josh Allen bulldozing for first downs. Dart fits that mold perfectly. And culturally, with the NFL expanding globally, games in London, Brazil, a young star like Dart could become a face for the next generation. Remember when Eli was in those Oreo commercials? Dart's charisma could land him endorsements, boosting the Giants brand. Curiosities about the team. Did you know the Giants were the first pro team in New York? Or that their logo, that classic New York, has been around since 1961? Rivalries add spice. Beating the Eagles in Philly is like winning the lottery for fans. And moments like Odell Beckham Jr.'s one-handed catch in 2014, that's the magic we crave. As we wrap this up, Giants Nation, this quarterback switch isn't just about one game or one season. It's about rebuilding that championship pedigree. Jackson Dart brings hope, energy, and a shot at glory. So, tune in this weekend as he takes the field against the Chargers. Will it be a debut for the ages? Grab your jerseys, rally your friends, and let's make some noise for Big Blue. Follow us for more updates, breakdowns, and that insider scoop you can't get anywhere else. Until next time, keep believing, because in New York, Giants always rise.